Darren, I swear down, if you didn't put the wash on, babe, it's fine. I will. Don't worry. Wait, hang on. Did I actually put that wash on? Darren, the ball. Focus on it. Yes, boss. I did put it on after all. Jesus Christ, man. Yo guys, it is your boy Nirin here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, shout out to all my Irish viewers because we've had the wonders of St. Patrick's Day. A chance for me to celebrate with my people. Raging alcoholics. Dublin was absolutely packed. What an accent. What people. You won't have heard this many beautiful voices since the last season of X Factor.
There's a bat. Derry, will you catch him? Murray, will you stop looking in the door?
I felt like a bit of an imposter, not gonna lie, going to the bar and ordering pints of Guinness, but that didn't stop Jack Grealish returning to his roots. On to the football though now, and we start with chaos in the FA Cup at Fulham. Fulham capitulated in dramatic fashion to lose their FA Cup quarter-final versus United. Having been 1-0 up, 3 red cards in 1 minute saw them lose 3-1. Mitrovic gave the West Londoners the lead, but after a Willian handball on the goal line, all hell breaks loose. Manager Marco Silva's not happy, he's sent off. Willian gets a red for the original incident, then Mitrovic, furious, pushes the referee and gets a red too.
It's all the drama, Mick. I just love it.
3 red cards at the same time. The VAR official should be charging overtime. Here we have all 3 of them reconvening in the United tunnel afterwards. Marco Silva just saw the general anger and wanted to get involved too.
If these men do it first, I'll do it.
Everyone at the whole club was getting aggressive. Total head loss, mate. Their assistant kit man was ready on the touchline to get involved.
If anybody gets in my face, I'm knocking them out.
Come on, John, best.
I mean what I say.
Mitrovic was of course the main source of anger with his push on the ref. He was chasing the poor official about the place and caught Kavanagh out in the car park afterwards.
Listen, hey, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm really...
Who's a wanker?
Please, I'm sorry.
I'm a
really,
wanker,
really
mate.
sorry.
I know it was Mother's Day this weekend, but there's no need for all the cards, lads. A very different vibe to the FA Cup this year, I've got to say. It really is the magic of the FA Cup. Oh, out that son. The thing is, though, Bruno Fernandes pushed a linesman versus Liverpool, and I thought at the time he should have been sent off too. Is it one rule for Fulham and another for United? Bruno was then asked what the referee said to him after the game.
Should have sent you off there, but I want you to win it.
Fulham down to 9 men. Bernd Leno screaming 9 man as Bruno Fernandes bears down on goal. Weghorst was gutted knowing he had less players to press. Anthony was still finding stuff to complain about. Why didn't he let me spin, man? And it was all caused by Jadon Sancho dilly-dallying once he'd gone past the goalkeeper. His plan to miss this then caused 3 red cards and scored 3 goals. Absolutely sensational. Next up at Tottenham. A pretty quiet and non-aggressive week here too. After Tottenham's total collapse at the hands of bottom of the table Southampton, Antonio Conte took to a press conference to blast his club, saying the players were used to failure, can't handle pressure and even attack the board. I spoke more about the incident here, but he clearly wants out after a poor set of results, and of course confirmation no silverware. Are players really gonna listen to Conte's home truths? Pierre Højbjerg asked the boss to be more specific in what he wants. Oh Pierre, don't ask for that. Furthermore, Højbjerg looks like he's constipated. The Italian speech to the players at the next training session is gonna be something wild.
You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it.
Who am I kidding? He's out of there. He's staring at his phone till he gets the notification saying he's sacked. His statement that he handed over to the LMA was pretty on the nose, and his handshake with Daniel Levy when he goes for the final time is gonna be a little awkward. Harry Kane's at least happy to be able to enjoy ketchup in the canteen again. Meanwhile, it's a shambolic time for the players too. Richarlison's horror season continued with an injury just 5 minutes in. You couldn't write this, honestly. Antonio Conte was there to check on him in the hospital. Arnaud Danjuma might as well hand his season ticket back. He's not getting any game time. Meanwhile, Eric Dyer, it's time to go download Duolingo, mate. His next club has already been confirmed.
Just up the road from Llanfair to Pwllgwyngyll, go get a Quindrobble, Llan Tacilio, go.
Meanwhile, out on loan, Tongi Ndombele is going to win the Scudetto and has a chance at the Champions League. Just leave Tottenham, lads. We take a break from England now to focus on what must be the 27th El Clasico of the the season. It was one of the most dramatic though, as a 92nd minute goal from Franck Kessié earned a 2-1 win for Barca and one hand on the La Liga trophy. They're now 12 points clear with this win. I'm personally just ready and present, turning up for Madrid's funeral. I'm definitely not still bitter over the Champions League. No. Barca need to teach the rest of Europe how to beat Madrid. Might as well charge for a course. That's another financial lever. Basically, lads, just score more in it. It was a dramatic late win, but it could have been so different, with Marco Asensio's goal being ruled out by VAR 10 minutes before time. Karim Benzema had a bit of a stinker and was pocketed here. I swear he's playing for the other team. Luka Modric was fuming, seeing him drop a 0 out of 10 in front of him.
The fucking baguette-eating dickhead frog.
Ancelotti was confused, seeing Eden Hazard warm up, thinking he'd come on and get some game time.
What are you doing? Sorry.
But instead, a late goal from Franck Kessié won Barca the 3 points. And the story of his celebration dedicating the goal to his late father was touching. Ousmane Dembele was excited in the stands and lost his phone. If that mobile has the structural integrity of him, it's in 64 pieces. It was a full-time scrap between youngster Arnal Tenas and Dani Carvajal. And another clash mid-game came between Dani Ceballos and Gavi, with the Royale man wiped out off the ball. It was very cynical stuff, and Dani was not happy, saying he should have been sent off. His sister came out and said that it doesn't matter because Ceballos is the better player. Well, I don't know about that.
I love ambition. Absolutely fucking love it. But
things got tense between Gavi and Dani in the tunnel, and the Barca midfielder will be sneaking into the hotel on Spanish international duty to decorate Ceballos' bed. Apparently there's a contract issue involving Gavi where he's been unregistered now via appeal and so loses his number 6 shirt and apparently can leave in the summer on a free. Have you seen this kid? He's tackling people with his eyebrow for the cause. He's too dedicated to Barca. He ain't going anywhere. Meanwhile, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was in the dressing room after the game at Barca. He's checked out of Chelsea and Graham Potter is about to get a call.
Nothing personal.
Speaking of Chelsea, and there was yet more league disappointment after conceding a late equaliser in a 2-2 draw to Everton. Every time they could get out of 10th, they do some level of foolishness. Goals in this one came from Joao Felix and Kai Havertz, who were pegged back by Doucouré and a first for Everton by Ellis Sims, conceding to a literal sim for crying out loud. Bipso! Kalidou Koulibaly got put in a dishwasher by a striker who hasn't unlocked a new trim yet. Nah, to be fair, I'm happy for Ellis, but Kalidou Koulibaly did not want to get involved as soon as he saw him barreling through, and was really struggling to track back. Honestly, I half expected both teams to lose here. Graham Potter ensured that he almost did, with 3 of the worst subs I've ever seen in my 25 years. The Chelsea boss just loves to cause drama when he's comfortable and 1 goal up.
I'm about to disrupt a football match.
4 England players on, as Gareth Southgate holding him hostage. Here we have Enzo Fernandez next season when they're still in 10th. In the midweek, and Graham did an interview with some fans and dropped some motivation ahead of the Champions League.
What would your message be to these fans? It's an exciting end to the season that we can all look forward to, isn't it? And we'll lead them on Saturday. We'll try and beat Everton, and then we'll take the draw, and then we'll try and win the Champions League.
Wait, the Harry Potter film's gonna go 18 rated. I can't wait for next week's talk. Yeah, so we just fucking fucked it against Everton. At Arsenal, and they dispatched off Crystal Palace at the Emirates with a 4-1 win. Before the game, and Palace sacked their boss Patrick Vieira on St. Patrick's Day. It ain't Patrick's Day. Oh, for crying out. Across the UK, and there were St. Patrick's Day celebrations, but one Patrick not celebrating was Vieira. But who was the man to replace him, I hear you cry?
Let's not take the piss.
Mark on Twitter here was happy that he was gone in 2021. Not so pleased now, to be honest. Roy is back in charge just a year and a half after supposedly retiring. The man's forgotten he's managed them already. It'll be a tough start to life for him when he's ignored by Wilfred Zaha. We've got footage of his first press conference after seeing the Palace team here.
Today I feel African.
But he's got to adapt away from his usual style of talking and will be doing his best to integrate when he has a conversation with Michael Olise.
Oh, man just topped him off like it was nothing. Get chefed, my G. Oh, Farmer, it's a madness.
Patrick Vieira will have been happy to see Arsenal beat Palace, in fairness. Meanwhile, Bukayo Saka might actually be the greatest. So much so he even got a call from Kim Kardashian to chat to her Arsenal supporting kid. No, Kim, it's Saka, not soccer. Bukayo was ready to nod and agree with all of her terrible football takes at the hope of sliding into her DMs afterwards. Meanwhile, Declan Rice is surprised he even wants to talk to the rest of the peasants.
Bro, he's been on FaceTime with Kim Kardashian, bro. He don't want us anymore.
You want me to say hello to you? No, bro.
Speaking of Kim, she's been on tour in the world of football, also attending PSG's game versus Rennes, which they lost. This woman is cursed. Man City fans are going to be terrified seeing her turn up at the Champions League final.
You know. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Kanye will be hoping that she turns up at her custody hearing so that she'll lose. I'm half expecting her to be present at 5-a-side at this rate, and I'm turning into Prime Henri just to impress her. She clearly distracted PSG's players, and Kylian Mbappe wasn't hiding it as she walked by. Lionel Messi was looking for her up in the stands and was trying his best to act natural when they got pictures at full time. This is huge! Manchester City faced off against top of the Championship Burnley and won 6-0 in the FA Cup this week, and Erling Haaland scored another hat-trick here. Pep's going to be devastated when he finds out he's broken Lionel Messi's record of goals scored versus Burnley. He scored more in England now than ever before in Germany. Are we the farmers? I don't think the citizens of Burnley have ever seen technology like Erling before. They were watching the game on dial-up internet, sending the results back to their families via a fax machine. Jack Grealish showed off a new mug that he's got over on Insta. It's quite literally a picture of Nathan Ake with tits. This man just can't stay away from them. At Chelsea, and they shared a video of players in their gym this week, and that place is absolutely packed. It looks like a uni common room. That is a gym on the 2nd of January after New Year's resolution. The queue for the rowing machines out the front door. Jordan Pickford's latest post on Insta also caught attention, with one fan saying he even farts blue, for crying out loud. Meanwhile, elsewhere on Merseyside, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is out at a Chris Brown concert with Jude Bellingham. But don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen, because apparently there is no chance of us signing the English wonder kid. Honestly, there's more chance that Jude's convincing Trent to sign for Dortmund. Liverpool's scouting department aren't quite ready to accept the news yet.
Looks like a one-off though, doesn't it? A crazy flash in the pan, don't you think?
Genuinely, lads, we spent 3 years trying to sign this kid. We've missed out on him, Enzo, any other midfielder, and we're gonna end up with Mason Mount. After his Conference League goal for West Ham, Gianluca Scamacca got a heap of praise from David Moyes, calling him a good boy. Well, I guess he really does have that dog in him. Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good... Speaking of which, and the Conference League draw happened for the quarterfinals this week. Looks like a FIFA career mode pre-season tournament. Meanwhile, Luke Ayling scored on the 18th of March for a 2nd season in a row and brought out the gymnastics once again. In French news, and PSG's Lionel Messi went for dinner in Argentina, and it was absolutely mental. Imagine going for dinner and outside is sold out. That restaurant could sell season tickets. At Rame, and the dream unbeaten run of Will Still is over. He lost 2-1 to Marseille, and the former Football Manager fan did not take it well. The French club are aiming to get a refund of the 22k fine now that he's lost a game. Meanwhile, at OGC Nice, and apparently their boss Didier Degarde, aged 36, also doesn't have his Continental Pro license, so they get fined 25k every time he manages the club too. What are they cooking over in France? Will's not too pleased at home seeing this story break.
He copied my whole fucking flow!
Oh,
word for word, bar for bar!
Someone needs to get French coaches their badges, man. I'm turning up to French FA headquarters demanding a job with a Dulwich Hamlet FM save on my CV.
Open the door! Open the door!
Meanwhile, Austrian side Red Bull Salzburg took the opportunity to compare Will to their coach, who does have his coaching badges, therefore they don't get fined anything, and said he didn't learn everything he knows from FM, but will still be good at it. Yeah, it's unnecessary, but it's a Chowsery award. Antoine Griezmann is not too happy at the fact that Kylian Mbappe has been given the French captaincy over him, and is apparently now considering his options under Didier Deschamps. How are you considering your options at a national team? What, are you going to sign for Spain? Chelsea are apparently on the verge of taking shares in Ligue 1 side Strasbourg. Todd Bowley's really trying to sign entire clubs now. Meanwhile, there was wholesome stuff over at Lens, where Bryce Samba received his first call-up, and this was the reaction of his teammates. In Spain and at Sevilla, their goalkeeper's ready to tee off his own forehead. Mate, you could play some sensational games off the top of this noggin. Meanwhile, at Rayo Vallecano, and if you're gonna try an experimental penalty, you simply have to score it. In Germany, Bayer Leverkusen came back from behind to beat Bayern Munich 2-1 and did it via 2 penalties. Now, interestingly enough in this one, Amin Adli won both of them, but for both decisions was originally accused of diving and given a yellow card. The referee then went to VAR and rescinded both of them, but absolutely had a bet on him to get a yellow. Him and Ivan Toney were vibing in Ladbrokes before kickoff. Over at Hoffenheim, and Munas de Boer is about to be brought off the bench to try and make an impact for Hoffenheim. Red for de Boer. fuck at Braunschweig, and they faced off against their local rivals Hanover. Now before the game, Braunschweig Ultras installed flares in the away section, or Hanover's, that were blue and yellow, the colours of their club. And when the game started, they switched them on remotely to blast the colours of their football club into the fans of Hanover. It's a shithousery award for the German side. In Italy, Victor Osimhen's gone crazy again in their 4-0 win at Torino. He's even inspiring the mascots of the other team. Gonna have kids going primary school looking like Darth Vader soon. Meanwhile, Zlatan Ibrahimovic posted on Twitter after his goal in Serie A with the caption, "Say my name." Ibra, we ain't saying shit. You lost the game, bruvs. We're not saying. Now that it's time for your goals of the week. More screamers once again. We start off over in the MLS, where youngster Thiago Almada has slapped in another free kick again, and the camera angle on this one is incredible. He's getting a major move soon. A free kick of a different kind, though, down at Warrington Rylands, where against Guiseley, Scott Duxbury's seen a goalkeeper off his line and put it in from his own half. And finally in France at QRM, Mamadou Kamara scored one of the most impressive solo goals I've seen in a long time, going from his own half, dribbling past 4 players, and then clipping the ball over the goalkeeper's head from a wide area. Feyenoord are doing well over in their Eredivisie, and their fans are absolutely loving it. This place looks like Mordor, mate. Furthermore, fuck Ajax. I'm not sure where this next clip actually comes from. We've got a youth team that's been allowed to run through on goal and score, but apparently that's easier said than done.
2 İnanılmaz şeyler oluyor sevgili seyirciler. İnanılmaz şeyler oluyor.
Poor kid's gonna be devastated in the interview after. Meanwhile, over in Saudi Arabia, and Cristiano Ronaldo has done the unthinkable and actually scored a free kick again. What you don't realise is Al Nassr's coach is still fishing footballs off the club's training facilities. Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Không Việt vị, dứt điểm. Bàn thắng thứ 4 cho các cầu thủ 7 Viettel, không có lỗi Việt vị trong pha bóng vừa rồi. Và người ghi bàn là cầu thủ trẻ 15 tuổi Trần Hồng. Kiên là cầu thủ nhỏ tuổi nhất đang thi đấu trên sân bên phía U17 Việt.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now, over in Mexico, and you've just scored for Club America against Chivas. What celebration could infuriate the opponent fans the most? He's taking the piss here. I mean, in Norway and at Tromsø, one player during a penalty shootout's trying to concentrate, but the fans aren't gonna let him, pelting a snowball towards him as he's about to take the spot kick. Right, listen up, lads. You're getting a yellow, you're getting a yellow, you're getting a yellow. I just want to say, ref, you're doing an amazing job right now. The way you are, like, leading this game is sensational. And fuck it, you can have one as well. What the fuck do you mean? In Argentina, and we've got a goal kick here being taken by a goalkeeper. He's played the ball to the defender, but there's been a miscommunication, because the centre-back reckons he's given the ball to him to take the goal kick, and instead gives away a penalty for handball. In Brazil, and we've got a footballer with a very unique celebration, which is basically going and starting a scrap with all of his teammates down on a subs bench and the boss as well. This is absolutely hilarious. I want people to celebrate like this more often. I don't mean to be that guy. It seems a little bit unfair to me. Meanwhile, in Portugal, and the award for the most shambolic and unfortunate own goal of the week goes to Vitória Guimarães against Benfica. Closer to home, and this is why rugby lines being on a football pitch should be illegal, as Bradford's goalkeeper thought he was in his own penalty area, picked up the ball, but at least didn't get a red card. If I'm him, I'm just dedicating to being a different sport. Rotherham's game against Cardiff got waterlogged this week after severe rainfall. The questionable thing about it was Rotherham were 1-0 down in this game, and their ground staff were intentionally scraping water back onto the pitch so that their impending defeat could be cancelled. Surely you got to forfeit the match for this. And speaking of other ridiculous scenes in the Championship, Wigan have been handed a points deduction. This after they've been failing to pay their players' salaries. Hopefully they can get themselves out of this mess, even though it means they're likely to go down. But yeah, another owner passing a fit and proper test when maybe they shouldn't. I mean, this guy's paying for Twitter but not paying the club's wages. Meanwhile at Grimsby, and shout out Naz and everything, but I had to read this caption like 4 times. Now though, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, parenthood and passion is a very difficult thing to balance in general life. If you want to go to the football, but you've got a young kid, then what are you gonna do with said child? I hear you cry. Well, over at Farrell versus Sepsi, it seems quite easy to keep the kid occupied whilst you're watching in the stands. Project Haji starts here in Japan, and I'm starting to feel sorry for this guy. Like, I beg, please just somebody high-five him. At Slovan Bratislava, and they seemingly can't decide whether they want to be kit supplied by Nike or by Adidas. In Argentina, and the stage is set. No, genuinely, as in they've set up a stage by the side of the pitch. I don't really know why. Come on, you all know this one. I want to hear you sing. Get the fuck out the way of the game. In Saudi Arabia, and goalkeeper Douglas Friedrich managed to concede a 90th minute own goal to gift his opponent an equaliser in comical fashion. A slightly different day for this goalkeeper in Chile at Colo Colo, who managed to score from his own half with this punt long, evading his opposite number. And continuing on the theme of goalkeepers over in Denmark, how about this triple save from a penalty from Mads Hermansen to deny Midtjylland? If you look up dedication in the dictionary, it comes up with this Aberdeen fan who travelled all the way over from Japan to watch his beloved side play. Staying in Japan, and they might want to invest in some VAR soon, because this handball goal is absolutely criminal. Over in Indonesia though now, and this penalty shootout in youth football over there is one of the most wholesome things you're gonna see. In Malaysia, and when it's pouring it down, at least we've got the human side of a footballer coming out, making sure that his mascot doesn't get drenched. In Brazil, and this Campeonato Catarinense penalty shootout went absolutely mental. 0-0 at full time, but 14-13 on penalties, with both goalkeepers missing during the shootout. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Sunday League is a place where you find flair, where you find poise, where you find ability, and where you find balance. Honestly, this video's taken 2 days to edit. He's still falling over. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, and I've told you a few stories about Football Manager fans in FTW before. English fans travelling over to the random depths of Europe and across the globe to go and see their team from their favourite save play. But how about a Spanish Football Manager fan who's done a save in England? Yep, shout out this guy from Spain who's gone to Alfreton Town. These lot have got to be on OneFootball by now. Over in the Egyptian 2nd Division, and a referee has been suspended after using a fan's mobile phone to disallow a goal. Yep, there's no VAR over there, so instead a referee decided to use his initiative, ask a fan who filmed the goal for the footage, and then disallowed it based on what he'd seen. Well, the Egyptian FA weren't too happy, and they banned him from officiating. And finally, down in Serie C, there's the story of an ex-Juventus footballer who was sent off after a linesman spotted him urinating by the sidelines. Christian Benino here managed to get himself sent off before he even entered the field of play. The 26-year-old got up off the bench and started warming up down the touchline in a fixture against Piacenza. But whilst waiting to come onto the pitch, he decided to go and take a quick leap, and instead of breaking the deadlock, broke the seal. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.